Okay, for this next piece, we are going to, for this piece right here, we're going to use that mesh mask extrude again. So I'm just going to solo this, F, center it up, go down to our divide, because we need some decent geometry here. I'm just going to divide this 5 or 6 times, delete lower, so we get this. And now I'm going to draw in the mask for the extrude. Here under our mask tools, extrude. Now, a few things with this tool, just some more finer points to this. The Z intensity will affect the size of the extrusion. So if I go here, I'm just going to turn this way down and just mask something off. You're going to see that thickness. Oh, got my symmetry on here. So now if I turn this way down, at least this is how this is supposed to work. Let's crank this up. Maybe this is in a different version. Let's try the draw size. I know it's one of these. Wouldn't think it would be the draw size, but no, it's not that either. Must be a bug. Well, anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Usually the Z intensity should control the scale of your mesh here. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to draw a quick mask that resembles that piece. You know what? I'm just going to draw over it. Let's do that. Go. Those more. Perfect. Oop. Holding down control. Just going to so this. And see off there. All right. So now that this is masked and it's got polygroups on it too, we're just gonna get rid of that. Delete hidden. I'm going to go ahead and clip the back of this too because I don't need it. I'll just keep it like this. Let's work. Scale this in a little bit. Not that big. I think this bevel will actually work to our advantage. Just slightly, a little bit too big. All right, so I'm gonna just use pieces of this. And turn on my double side and display properties. Got a crease there, which should be okay. Let's go ahead and do a close holes on this. That didn't look right. You know, I'm going to keep this geometry. I'm spending way too much time on this piece right here. So this is fine. I'm just going to go ahead and move this around. Just make this shape a little bit better. And again, with this demo, I'm really trying to just show you a bunch of tools, or as many as I can. it really about making like the best done object ever. This is gonna really screw our geometry up, so I'm just gonna dynamesh this. On here. Actually, see, dynamesh. There we go. And works. And then we'll go down here and polish this up. Polish by groups. That'll work. We're gonna polish crisp edges. Awesome. That's way too much. All right. Gonna shape this a little bit more. We're gonna move on to a new tool. There is a new tool in 2022 that deals with this problem we're having with the geometry. It's called like an infinite brush or something like that. I didn't want to show it because I know some you don't have the latest version. I just decided to go ahead and just soften that up. I'm just going to clip it. Like so. Mirror this. Again, checking my head for reference. So I can see that I need to flip it. So over down here. Must be off, way off center. It's probably the problem here. Yeah. That's fine. I'm just going to clip the other side. There we go. Okay, so this is pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is this little, there's like a notch that's kind of cut out of here. We're going to try to do that with polygrouping if possible. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Thinking. That'll work. That'll work. Next up. Like this. You know, we're going to use a different. I'm going to use live links. I haven't showed you guys that yet. So I'm going to append in a cylinder. Next up, go ahead and pick up this. I'm going to subdivide the cylinder up. Doesn't matter about geometry here because this is a throwaway object. Scale this down, rotate it. I'm going to kind of guess this, just judging from our concept art. Doesn't have to be perfect. We have our live boolean button over here. We want to definitely make sure that we have that checked. And then next up, in our subtool palette, there's these little icons here. This is subtraction, so I'm going to subtract from our other object and turn polyframe off. And I get this nice kind of divot. And the cool thing is I can still rotate this around because it's a live object and kind of get that shape. That's it. A little bit smaller. That push it in. There we go. Nice little piece. So now what we need to do is under Boolean, we want to make a Boolean mesh, and we don't want to subdivide it. So we'll just go ahead, or we do want this, actually, sorry, because we have a subdivided cylinder here. I'm going to grab our piece, enable this, allow dynamic subdivision, and then we're going to hit make Boolean mesh. And it's going to calculate. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Sometimes that'll happen, and I need to save. So let's go ahead and save this. Saving. Oh, it's actually remeshing that video. There we go. And this is our piece. You can see it's outside of our subtools, so I have to put that in there. But I like that it does this because now I can remesh this kind of easily. So as you can see, our geometry is really bad. So we are going to Z-remesh this. And if I was doing this in production, I would probably go in and retopologize this. But since this is a kind of a small piece, I'm not going to do that here. And Z-remesher does a pretty good job, as we can see. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good as far as poly count goes. We can try one more. Go at it. Half it. See what we get. That works. So a really pretty complicated piece out of just basically one operation. This is going to attach to our receiver plate, so I'm just going to taper this a little bit, just with the pinch brush. There. I'll change my color. There you go. And I'm just doing this just to add some shape. One thing that, especially with students, that you can pick student work out pretty quickly when you see if it's only been modeled from one direction. We want to make sure we model all directions as much as we possibly can. This. I'm just thinking about the shape of the gun too. All right, I think that'll work for now. We'll remake that one more time. Done. Let's go ahead and we're going to put, there's a little screw right here. Let's go ahead and just add that since we're in here. And that's going to be using insert mesh brushes. So I'm going to go up to my brush palette, and I know that Zbrush comes with this IMM individual parts brush, which has little screws and bolts. So we'll just grab one of these. Actually, we'll grab one of these, flathead, since it's an older piece. And literally all I have to do is drag. It's very simple. Try that one more time. Click, drag. Perfect. And that is our piece. So let's subdivide that. Let's make sure it looks good. And it does. And we will call that one done. Let's go to our geometry. Rename this, which I should be doing the whole time. Super. Right. I'm going to go back to our original pieces here. And I'm just going to delete these, our other objects, and then I'm going to append back in our receiver. Make all of these visible again. You're good to go. So let's go ahead and place this. Here, it's definitely much smaller. Just moving these in place. And I'm just matching our concept art, just revisiting here. For now, this piece right here is thick. Back in. Back out. For this one, let's go back to our insert mesh individual points. Autosave. Right. That hit screw again. Let's put that one right there. And I know there's a couple more on our plates here, so I'm just going to add those while we've got this brush. We don't need this over here since obviously there's no receiver, but we're just going to keep it there. All right, we're heading into the home stretch. So I think really all we have left to do now is the trigger, and we're going to remesh the body of this. So next up, we're going to go ahead and do the trigger. Do this. I would use the same method I've been using, but I wanted to show you guys a different way of doing this. I'm trying to think. Maybe we could use the bridge tool. Maybe we'll use bridge. So like I said, I didn't plan this out, so this is all spontaneous. The bridge tool is so let's append in a cube. Down. Basically just want the start of the trigger. Do this a little bit. Then I'm going to this. Hopefully this works. This may not work at all, but give it a try. Here, I'm just trying to find the end point. That. We're going to need to go to Z modeler, so BZM, kernel polyframe here. So I'm going to run auto groups on this and see if we can get some poly groups that'll help us out. Nope. Let's try a group by normals with a max angle of 45. There we go. That'll work. So basically, we just want to get rid of these inside pieces. So delete hidden. All right, that's good. Now let's see if this will work. So in the Z modeler brush, we're going to roll over an edge and space, bridge, and we're going to hit two holes and swing an interactive curvature resolution and for these two. So let's see what we get. So we've got here to here. Now I click and drag, and then you can see this. I have to do that again so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so clicking on one edge, two edges. So now as I move the mouse up and down, it affects the curvature. And side to side, as I'm moving at this angle, I can kind of shape this. So I'm going to shape this into a trigger, just like that. I guess that worked pretty well. Nice and easy. So let's go ahead and shape this a little bit. Move. I'm going to turn symmetry on. Maybe that'll help. This up a little bit. Just trying to make this look like a nicer trigger. Oop. Trigger guard. That works. Again, I'm leaving the wobble in there because this is an old, it's kind of like an old timey gun anyways. So we're going to go up here to geometry. We're going to Z-remesh this because it's way too high poly right now. Protect edges. Let it do its thing. And then we're going to go ahead and half this with detect edges on. And then once without detect edges on. And you know what? Let's just leave it this. Let's go keep going. Go where we can get this. Go. If I hit D, there's our nice subdivided trigger guard. Obviously, this is way too thick, so fill that in. Done. For the trigger itself, he doesn't really show like what the trigger is. So I may just reuse this piece of geometry here. I'll just duplicate this. Got symmetry on it. Paint it up. There we go. Something we do all the time at the studio is just reuse stuff instead of trying to build everything from scratch. That'll work. Symmetry back on. For this a little bit more shape. Go. It looks like there's a little notch or something at the end of that, so let's zoom in here. So I'm going to dynamesh this. Nope, definitely not that much. That'll work. Smooth. plate. Just a notch here. I'm going to go ahead and H polish this again just to get our edges back. Move this too much. Okay, that looks great. And then let's remesh that again. Turn symmetry off. Go to our Z modeler brush again. Go over edge, increase, edge loop complete. Increase there. Increase there. And why not? Let's increase it there. Not that last one. Oh, they're creasing here. And I just right edge. Edge loop partial. There we go. That was just going around the entire object. That looks fine. Sweet. That's a little messed up. Let's fix this. Not sure what happened there. This is one of my favorite things about Zbrush. It's just so easy to go back and fix things. You're never just kind of stuck. It's very easy to go back and fix. There we go. So that's pretty nice. Here. Have a nice little groove there. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and save this. Saving, saving, saving. There we go. All right, as I was sitting there looking at this, we were waiting. I'm going to fix this barrel. That was too short. So mask, click to invert, move, go. Go at our stock again, and just get this prepared for remeshing. I'm gonna polish the stock. A mess. I just have my mask on for some reason. And I'm just gonna sharpen this part on the top here, because it should kind of have a nice crisp edge right here at this edge of the edge of the barrel, the stock where they connect. Just like that. Some of this stuff in here I'm going to leave, just get a nice texture. I think that's good. So let's remesh this and see what we get. That clip this part right here. We don't want that to be lumpy. I want. Blend out. We'll just delete it. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and remesh this. We're going to be pretty aggressive with the remeshing. Try to detect edges and see if we can keep some of our shape. Great job. So let's do that. Remesh. Pretty good. Subdivide it and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's good. And now if we want to, you just go back and touch this up. Nice and sharp. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to go ahead and subdivide this, and then you can increase the amount of subdivisions here. So I'm going to turn it up to like 3, just so I can see as I'm sculpting the result. Right now, this is just all about subtlety, so I'm just kind of just making this edge a little bit sharper. Transition there. And I'm going to bring some of this back as well. A bit better. So, trying to create a little bit of a cheek well here. But stop a little bit more fun. Works. We'll grab our pinch brush. Create a little bit of a crease here. Go. Barrel it here, like that. I can see that when I subdivide that, it destroys the end. This is what's happening to it. So that's a easy fix. Z modeler, increase edge root complete, subdivide, state. There we go. There's our gun. So hopefully you guys all learned something. Again, this was more about kind of showing these techniques, not making the perfect thing. But as you can see, with just a few tools, not that many tools, you can pretty much knock something out that's relatively complicated. And again, if this was like an actual model I was going to use, I'd probably spend about, I don't know, another 2 to 3 hours on this, just refining it. Um, but that's it. Thanks, and see you in the next one.